After the ice melted, Xianxia saw 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's appearance. He was a very handsome, middle-aged man with a beard on his chin. "Is this the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord?" Xianxia muttered. This 10 Heavens Supreme Lord in front of him didn't have the aura of an emperor, although it was just a body, but it should more or less have that kind of emperor aura. On the contrary, Fire Emperor and LV Chilian had let him feel this way before. Just as Xianxia was about to ask, Jiang Shang reached into the sarcophagus and slapped 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's face. "Bastard, you slept for so long. Wake up quickly. There was a little kid who traveled so far and spent so much effort. He almost died several times along the way before bringing the green dragon demon-slain broadsword here." Pa pa pa. It could be seen that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse was still preserved very well. It was just that Xianxia could not watch any longer. The divine craftsman was too ruthless. He actually tortured a dead person to death. After the divine craftsman slapped him a few times, 10 Heavens Supreme Lord suddenly opened his eyes. 2 rays of green light shot out from his eyes. He fiercely jumped out of the coffin and cursed. "Old Jiang, are you done fighting? Didn't I tell you to integrate faster and relax your muscles?" Jiang Shang chuckled, then said to Xianxia, "The mission that you risked your life coming here to do is to revive this bastard." Xianxia was startled. He looked at 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. This guy did not have a bit of the demeanor of an expert. "I know your name is Xianxia, and that remnant spirit of mine would be in a half-awake state from time to time, so I know a little about you. You did a good job and didn't disappoint me, to actually be able to let me live like this, haha." Qi Shi patted Xianxia's shoulders and laughed out loud. "Brat, you aren't an easy person either. Don't pretend to be pure. You have so many powerful things on your hand now. As long as you are a little stronger, you will be able to torture those bastards to death." Xianxia reacted. After all, this was the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. He anxiously wanted to bow to Qi Shi, but who knew he would be stopped by Qi Shi. "Don't do this for me. You have inherited a lot of things from me, so you have to work hard in the future." Qi Shi laughed. "This? Great Emperor, what kind of state are you in now? Have you fully revived, or temporarily resurrected? Isn't your soul still in hell?" Xianxia was very suspicious about this. Qi Shi sighed. "I don't want that hell soul. It's impossible for me to get out. At the beginning, I had kept that back up, nurtured my second soul, and sealed it inside the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Finally, by absorbing the soul energy emitted by the dead, it would be more or less time for my body to revive." Jiang Shang laughed. "In that case, I am much stronger than you right now." Qi Shi patted Xianxia's shoulder. "That is not necessarily true. Wait a little longer. My successor will definitely win against you." Xianxia had heard from Duanming and the White Tiger that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was very easygoing and approachable. It was exactly as the rumor said, but Qi Shi no longer had the kind of earth-shaking power like back then. "Seniors, my dragon fountain is being prepared to be attacked. I need to go back quickly. Is there any way to leave this place?" Xianxia asked anxiously. "Since you're in such a hurry, I'm going to give you a proper lesson so that you can become stronger." Qi Shi frowned. "Can we wait any longer? It'll be quick. There's about 3 or 4 months left. That dragon fountain is very important to me, and when the time comes, many of my friends will be there to protect me. If I can't return by then, I'll kill them all." Xianxia's face was filled with worry. "Enough." Qi Shi looked at Jiang Shang. "Old Jiang, go out and capture those annoying idiots inside. I talked for so long, and you sat for so long, it's about time to make up for it." Qi Shi laughed brazenly as he patted Xianxia's shoulders so that he did not have to worry. Jiang Shang had already disappeared, and leaving via the transmission array, Xianxia was much more at ease. With the dragon outside, "What are they doing here?" Xianxia asked curiously. "They wanted to break into this place. Those dragons knew about the Heaven Extended method, and they seemed to have predicted that I would come back alive, so they came to make trouble." Qi Shi laughed out loud. "But that dogshit dragon emperor of his thinks too highly of himself, and doesn't want to bother with such a small matter. If he were to personally take action, you would have died long ago." Xianxia couldn't laugh it off. The Dragon Emperor would be in a lot of trouble if he knew that Yu Yang had revived the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. If that Dragon Emperor attack my dragon fountain, wouldn't I be done for? Will Senior Jiang be able to deal with him? Xianxia was a little worried. Old Jiang is only a blacksmith, of course he can't beat that Dragon Emperor. But you don't have to worry. The gluttonous dragon that eats all day and drinks for nothing on your body can stall him for a while. Qi Shi said with emotion. I never thought that this gluttony would still be the same, able to eat so much. Fortunately I have you, otherwise it wouldn't have been long since it was reborn and it would have starved to death. Qi Shi and Long Shui had known each other from the start, and Long Shui had even lent him the divine deity. Xianxia scolded Long Shui. How could he hide so many things from him? Before his memories awoken, he did not speak of it, but now that his memories had awoken, he did not tell him any of the secrets. Senior, I heard that you owe her a divine deity, so how are you going to return it to her? Your soul should still be in hell, right? When Xianxia thought about this, he could see Qi Shi going crazy. Qi Shi, who was always smiling, suddenly could not laugh anymore. This? She told you, but she said she wouldn't. It was your master, Senior White Tiger. Xianxia looked at him speechlessly. This guy actually forgot something as important as divine deity. Who cares about him? If he wants to kill me, let him do so. It's not like I haven't died before. Even Xianxia wanted to beat him up, let alone Long Shui. Xianxia asked again. If she goes to hell, is it possible to get her divine deity back? Qi Shi shook her head. Impossible. That divine deity has long been devoured by the Hell Devil Emperor. If she knew, she would have thought about fighting the Hell Devil Emperor with her life, but she definitely can't beat the Hell Devil Emperor. Xianxia felt that it wasn't worth it. With divine deity he could enter the god's realm. At that time he wouldn't have to worry about being tricked by the Hell Devil Emperor anymore. There's no need to worry about her. If she can condense the second divine deity, she must be even more powerful, as it is a form of training for her. There aren't many opportunities to lose her divine deity. So this kind of thing should belong to Shi Wuhuang, because who would be unwilling to lose it? Qi Shi laughed as he brought Xianxia outside to the spacious hall. He had Xianxia take out the divine furnace and start a fire, preparing to eat the dragon meat. Xianxia did not understand why Long Shui would lend his divine deity to Qi Shi back then. Exactly how did you borrow the divine deity back then? This thing shouldn't be easy to borrow, right? Xianxia was very curious about this. It's too easy. I just took out a lot of delicious holy-level fruits, and she agreed readily. Qi Shi laughed. This gluttonous dragon is very easy to deal with. Xianxia could only feel grief for Long Shui. Jiang Sheng had not returned yet. Just now, Qi Shi told him to go out and deal with those sky dragons. Those sky dragons were not as easy to deal with as Xianxia had imagined. Xianxia and Qi Shi sat in the great hall and waited. They had already lit a fire. Once Jiang Sheng returned, they could begin. If Senior Jiang kills all those dragons, would Heavenly Dragon Race come over? Can they defend this place? Xianxia asked. The real Dragon Emperor should be very powerful in his eyes. I'm not too sure, but maybe it is possible. This place has never been attacked by any powerhouses of that level before. Don't think too much about it. Let's have a meal first. Qi Shi didn't care at all. He looked at the sacred flame that Xianxia had released, and his face was filled with impatience. Why has old Jiang been gone for so long? In all these years, not only has he not become stronger, he has become weaker. Just as Qi Shi finished complaining, a ray of red light suddenly shone from a corner. Jiang Sheng smiled and reached the spot he was at and quickly walked over. Did you succeed? Qi Shi asked. I only caught 2. The rest escaped with serious injuries. Jiang Sheng took out a large chunk of dragon meat that had its scales sliced off. It's only 2, and they still managed to escape. But forget it. Qi Shi walked over to the piece of dragon meat that looked like a small house. This was only a small piece. If there were a bunch of dragons, they would take up a lot of space here. Xianxia said, Senior, are you sure you want to use this divine cauldron to make food? There are many corpses inside. Jiang Sheng laughed. If you want to make food, just use mine. As a divine craftsman who was with a delicious fellow like Qi, he must have a lot of food on his hands. Sure enough, Xianxia took out a big pot and threw a large amount of dragon meat into it. No one knew what ingredients he put in, making the pot shine with a golden light. He was a big lion. It was normal for him to eat meat, but only dragon meat could satisfy him. Right now, he was holding up a huge fork with a large piece of dragon meat stuck in it. These stupid dragons, even though they knew that I was reviving in this period of time, they still sent themselves over for me to eat. After roasting the first piece of meat, Qi cut off 2 large pieces for Xianxia and Jiangshang, and then began to wolf it down himself. Xianxia and Jiangshang were both human, so they couldn't eat as much as him, but their appetite was not small either. Adding that this was meat from a sky dragon, which was equivalent to a holy level dragon, the power contained inside was both effective against Jiangshang and Qi, let alone Xianxia. I never thought that your remnant soul would be so powerful, to actually be the soul of the holy level. Adding your physical body, even if your strength is not stronger than mine, it would be more than enough to deal with those heavenly dragons. You have already eaten your fill, so if they were to come again, you can go and capture it yourself. At this time, those 2 dragons had already been eaten, and the majority of them were eaten by Qi. After he finished replenishing himself, he was in an extremely good state, so both Xianxia and Jiangshang could feel the powerful strength currently in his body. After eating so much dragon meat, his hair and eyebrows had already turned white. He looked just like a spirited young man, without any trace of the demeanor of an old senior. "Sai, I didn't expect that I would be revived. Only the 2 of you are celebrating me together. My old friends from before. I wonder how they are doing now." Qi sighed. "I'm not celebrating you. I still want you to visit for a bit longer." Jiangshang curled his lips. "As long as I follow you, all I have to do is be unlucky throughout the day. During the time that you die, I'll be much more at ease." "Old Jiang, I didn't ask you to take the lead. Normally, you will only create some stuff in the dark and set up some formations. What's there to be down on?" Qi patted his shoulder and laughed. "Don't worry. This time, when I'm revived, I won't be tormenting anything. There's a brat here who can do more than me." Xianxia looked at him speechlessly. "I don't want to torment them either, but there's nothing I can do about it. Right, where did the super old fire beast and the frozen dragon ancestor go?" Qi said, "Once they go to God's realm, they will definitely not be able to stay there well. If they can go to that place, most of them will be used as mounts for the gods. Even the powerful ice dragons and super old fire beast could only be used as mounts when they went to God's realm." Now, he understood why the ice dragons complained that he did not do well in that place. "Can I train now? How can I become stronger in such a short period of time?" Xianxia asked. He had always been concerned about this matter. "Although I have resurrected, it is very difficult for me to reach the peak of my past. However, you can." Qishi's face suddenly became serious. "You are now in control of the heavenly alchemy, so you got it much earlier than me, and you have a deeper understanding of the heavenly alchemy than me, so you know how to use it to concoct pills. Back then, I was only using the heavenly alchemy to mess around, and it caused a lot of trouble. And this one," Qi patted Xianxia's chest. "This killing god heart, that was a very mysterious thing. Back then, my master couldn't even control it, so he gave it to me. My master seeking death in this reincarnation was one of the reasons to get rid of this killing god heart." Xianxia had always been worried about the mysterious soul inside the killing god heart. "Senior, what about you? Can you control it?" Xianxia asked anxiously. "He can't control himself either. Back then, when he lost control of himself and almost killed all of us, that's why he ran off to the infernal realm to seek death, because he didn't want to live anymore." Jiangshang said, "But he did not die, and managed to save a group of subordinates." Qi nodded his head. "Later on, when I found out that I was targeted by the Hell Devil Emperor, I paid a huge price, and among those who abandoned my divine weapon, there was this killing god heart. All these years I've been suppressed in hell. I've been thinking about what exactly this killing god heart is. My master told me before that this is a mysterious stone that he found in the forbidden land of gods. Both the heavenly alchemy and the heavenly alchemy were obtained from it. Qi Shi looked at Jiang Shang. After that, he found the old Jiang and helped him refine a heart. After that, he lost control over it a few times, so he was addressed as the god of slaughter. He was the one who killed the vermilion bird back then. I used the vermilion bird's feathers and blood to refine the Suzaku silk. Jiang Shang sighed. Maybe because he felt guilty for killing the vermilion bird, he killed off the subordinates sent by the Hell Devil Emperor and, in the end, gave up on his physical body and gave it to me to refine his body into the slaughter god's hand. Chun Xiang touched his heart and started to beat even faster. He was worried that he would lose control of his body in the future and make a move on his friends and relatives. Senior, you've been thinking in hell for so long. Do you know what that is? Do you have any way to restrain yourself? Chun Xiang asked anxiously. Jiang Shang looked at Qi Shi, waiting for his reply. Qi Shi furrowed his brows and took a deep breath. I think that it should be a divine deity, and one that is a god of death at that. At that time, this so-called profound cold ancient realm had once sent a group of gods to this place. I'm not too sure about the specifics, but in short, a true god of killings came here and even died, leaving behind this divine deity. The divine deity contains a strong will of the god of slaughterers, which is why it was able to go out of control. After Chun Xiang and Jiang Shang finished listening, both of them widened their eyes and slowly inhaled. This was actually a set of divine deity. Is this for real? Why do you only know now that you took over the divine deity of that craving dragon in the past? Jiang Shang still could not believe that this rare divine deity was actually in Chun Xiang's body. Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord's divine deity has only just been formed, and is completely different from this kind of divine deity that has been formed for a long time. Her divine deity is still in the form of a soul body, and I've never seen any other divine deity before. Qi Shi said. In that case, the god who possesses the stone divine deity must be very strong. Jiang Shang looked at Chun Xiang with a little envy. Clutching his chest, Chun Xiang felt the crazily pulsing killing heart. This was actually a set of divine deity, and it was much stronger than what Long Shui had condensed back then. Right now, what I am certain of is that the hidden consciousness within the divine deity was unknowingly suppressed by this kid. So don't envy him. Qi Shi said. Back then, Master and I both possessed this divine deity, and we often lost control of it. So we had to use a great amount of power to suppress it. Chun Xiang nodded his head. Because of the influence of the consciousness inside, I once displayed a terrifying sword strike that was inconsistent with my strength. At that time, I thought that there was a mysterious soul within the killing heart, but who would have thought that it was only the consciousness of the divine deity? Qi Shi said with a serious expression on his face. This is somewhat troublesome. This divine deity's subconscious is filled with killing intent. In this period of time, you have to fuse with this divine deity and completely control it. This is the god of slaughter's divine deity, and it's the kind of perfect state. If you are gradually affected by him, you will become a real god of slaughterers in the future. Under the influence of the god of slaughter's subconscious, you will become someone else. This is extremely dangerous. Chun Xiang's face was covered in perspiration. This was exactly what he was worried about the most. What should I do? Chun Xiang asked. Using the heavenly alchemy, refine the divine deity into yours, just like how you refine pills. In the process of refinement, remove all the impurities and leave behind only useful things. Qi Shi said, I believe that you can definitely do it using the heavenly alchemy. Chun Xiang nodded. Qi Shi continued, you cultivated your soul, entered the immortal becoming realm, and fused your dantian into the divine sense C. You now have to transfer your divine deity to the divine sense C and refine it there. Then what about my heart? Chun Xiang's heart had previously been destroyed, but the killing heart fused with his body later on. Qi Shi looked at Jiang Shang. Do you still have more of those things? Jiang Shang laughed. There are 3 more. I have preserved them well. Chun Xiang was confused. What is that thing? Just as he finished asking, he saw Jiang Shang taking out a jade box. Opening it, there was a heart that was glowing with a silver light. It seemed to be beating strangely, but every time the heart beat, it would release a ray of holy silver light. This is the sacred heart fruit. When you refine the killing heart into the divine sense, we will immediately use this sacred heart fruit to replace your missing heart. Xianxia laughed. He grabbed a sacred heart fruit and smashed it onto the ground, and even ruthlessly clapped a few times. Do you see that? This thing is very powerful. In the future, with this thing, it will be hard for others to hurt your heart. Xianxia also laughed and slapped his hands together. That sacred heart fruit seemed to have the ability to play, and was extremely difficult to break. After replacing your heart with this sacred heart fruit, it can affect your other forms of filth, and even your physical body. This way, your body can become stronger, and there aren't many good things like this. Xianxia chuckled. Rest assured, go refine the killing god heart. What a powerful saint fruit. I wonder how it would be used to concoct pills. Xianxia took out a bunch of creation divine liquid S and said, is there any way to split them into two? Let me see if I can duplicate them. After Xianxia cultivated the alive slain method, his creation divine liquid had become a lot more powerful, but he did not go into the depths of the alive slain method to comprehend it, so his current creation divine liquid still could not be compared to LV Chilian's current state. Senior, have you never created this kind of liquid when you were cultivating the alive slain method in the past? Xianxia was suddenly curious. He wanted to seek Xiaxia's advice. No, I don't know, the heaven-earth killing method is too complicated, but my main focus is on killing. Xiaxia shook his head, indicating for Xianxia to cut it open. Xianxia took out a kitchen knife and a chopping board that seemed to be moving very frequently. Grabbing the sacred heart fruit that was jumping like a fish, he pressed it to the chopping board and evenly cut it into two sides. Xianxia immediately released his god power and sealed the wound on the sacred heart fruit to prevent it from losing energy. Then, he poured one of it into the creation divine liquid and poured it into a small jade bottle in his hand. Xianxia and Xiaxia were very surprised after that. They saw that only half of the sacred heart fruit emitted a weak white light, and then, it quickly grew into a complete piece. After that, Xianxia dripped another half of it, and it became the same as the other half, quickly becoming a complete half again. No wonder that gluttonous dragon would follow you around. It's been such a hard job, why didn't I think of it then? It really is from the alive slain method. Xiaxia slapped his thigh. Truly regretting it back then, if I knew that the alive slain method could be used like that, perhaps history would not be like that. And Xiaxia were both surprised that one could become two, and that their speed could even be so fast. Xianxia grinned. Since I've used up all of that liquid, I need more time to condense it. Can you leave one for me? Of course. Xianxia laughed excitedly. Big lion. In the future, you have to help me make more. In the future, when I meet this Dan Emperor Tang Ying, I can exchange him for more holy pellets. Xianxia laughed. We should exchange some more holy-level medicinal ingredients from the Dan Emperor, duplicate more of them out, and then exchange them for divine pellets with him. Haha, that's right. Xiaxia was also very excited. He silently sighed to himself that after living for so many years, he actually didn't know how to use this method. Then I'll start now. You guys watch over me. If I still haven't woken up by then, please help me take a look at that dragon vein. Xianxia said. Xianxia was worried that if he wasted too much time, the evil dragon graveyard would be besieged and attacked again. When the time comes, I'll let the old Jiang go. As long as he takes action, as long as a few guys of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables' level don't appear, he'll be able to deal with them. Xiaxia placed her hand on his shoulder. Rest assured, go cultivate. If you can refine that divine deity, then you will definitely become stronger. Xianxia closed his eyes in relief and relaxed his entire body, allowing himself to enter a state of tranquility. He treated himself as a pill furnace and the killing heart as a medicinal ingredient. What he needed to do now was to refine the killing heart, and then think of a way to make it enter the divine sense C, and then solidify it. The killing god heart was extremely sturdy, and a 7-colored sacred fire burned inside Xianxia's body. He controlled the flame to wrap the killing heart, wanting to refine it, but it was extremely difficult. Xiaxia and Xianxia, who were beside Xianxia, could both feel the hot air emitting from Xianxia's body. They admired Xianxia's current platinum-ranked body, as well as the fact that only a few of them could actually cultivate jade bones in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, and Xianxia would definitely be able to do so in the future. That was just a matter of time. Years ago, in order to refine that rock into the shape of a heart, I took a very long time to succeed. Although his current flame is a 7-colored sacred fire, it is not as tyrannical as my 7-colored sacred fire. Xianxia shook his head. He was very familiar with the killing god heart that he and White Tiger had refined together back then. It's hard to say, but this little demon is the most evil. Ice Emperor was killed by him, his physical body and soul were both destroyed, so I'm worried that Hell Devil Emperor would have set his eyes on him very early on. If he has divine deity now, he might become a god in the future. Hell Devil Emperor doesn't have the authority to collect the soul of a god. Qi Shi said. There's movement. Xianxia suddenly shouted. Waves after waves of black qi came out from Xianxia's chest. It was a very dense gush of killing intent, constantly erupting out. The imposing manner made people feel like it was the shocking wave of killing intent on the battlefield. This killing intent has been forced out by him. He's already refining it to force the impurities out. Xianxia said in shock. I never thought that he would have figured it out so quickly. Qi Shi chuckled. This little brat's pill refining skills are much better than killing people and scumbags. Maybe he will become a pill saint soon enough. If it was me, I'm afraid I would not know how to refine it. Xianxia did not know how he managed to refine the murderous aura condensed inside the killing heart. He only treated his body like a pill furnace and used the techniques in the heavenly alchemy to coordinate with it. With his many years of experience in refining pills, he gradually had a clue. Back then he cultivated the White Tiger divine technique and condensed a large amount of killing intent, but now all of it had been released by him. Back then, both the White Tiger and Qi Shi had used this killing heart, and at that time they had also condensed a large amount of killing intent into the killing heart. At this time, it was extremely difficult for Xianxia to purify the divine deity without any impurities. When Xianxia was concocting pills, he would not feel the passage of time, and it was the same for now. He had been in this state for over a month, and his body was releasing an extremely large amount of killing intent every day. Qi Shi and Xianxia were both strong, so they were not affected at all. What shocked Qi Shi and Xianxia the most was that a black liquid started to leak out of Xianxia's body. This was actually condensed into a liquid form of killing intent. It was all condensed into the divine deity. At this time, Xianxia had already increased his strength to remove the impurities. If he did not do this, he would not dare to throw this dangerous killing heart into the divine sense sea. So many. Xianxia took out a cauldron and had Qi Shi put the black liquid inside it to burn. If this level of killing intent was leaked to the outside and touched by some spirit bodies or beasts, a large number of evil spirits and evil beasts would be raised. You fellows, your slaughter truly is heavy. Serves you right for going to hell. Xianxia looked at the black liquid that was continuously flowing out from Xianxia's body and kept on flowing out like a gushing spring. Qi Shi said as his brows knitted together. Master and I were definitely unable to condense this much killing intent. How many living creatures did this fellow with the divine deity kill while he was still alive? Xianxia shook his head. Maybe what he killed was a god. Otherwise he wouldn't have condensed such a terrifying killing intent. But this brat is truly powerful. He can actually force it out, and he won't be affected at all as he has suppressed it for so many years. The current Xianxia was extremely terrifying. Black liquid was flowing out of his 7 orifices, and a small hole had been opened up on his chest area. The black liquid that was forced out of the killing heart caused his body to feel extremely bloated, and luckily he had a devil-suppressing golden body, so this evil killing intent had no effect on him. This situation continued for a month. Xianxia didn't even know how many cauldrons of black liquid were burned by him, but he and Qi Shi had been busy all day long trying to get rid of the large amount of black liquid flowing out, especially the past few days. This situation had become even more dangerous. What flowed out was not liquid, but black mud like mud, and the concentration was even higher. It's almost been cleared out. No wonder Master and I couldn't suppress that monstrous killing intent back then. So it turns out to be that terrifying. Qi Shi exclaimed. Being able to fall into the hands of this brat can also be considered luck. Otherwise, 9 Heaven World would have long been annihilated. Xianxia was a little tired and ate a fruit. Someone with this kind of divine deity shouldn't be an evil god who escaped from hell, right? Who knows? Qi Shi looked at Xianxia's rapidly healing body and laughed. This is a Yulong blood, and also a very pure one. I even thought he was a draconian. Just as he said that, Xianxia's body suddenly spewed out a burst of white light, especially at the location of his chest. At the same time that the white light shot out, it produced a terrifying suction force that sucked in all the pure energy from outside. After Xianxia channeled his heavenly alchemy, he was already in a dazed state. No matter what happened, how could he know? However, at this moment, he strongly felt a frightening power surging into his divine sense. The blurry Xianxia was woken up by the power that was pouring into the divine sense, and he became much more clear-headed. At this moment, he could see that the inside of his divine sense was expanding until it shone with multicolored light. The killing god heart has been refined. Xianxia felt that his chest was extremely uncomfortable. His heart was beating extremely hard and was shrinking at the same time. It's about to begin, Qi Shi shouted. Xianxia immediately took the sacred heart fruit and went to Xianxia's side to feel the changes in his heart. The special powerful multicolored light inside Xianxia's divine sense was gradually expanding, and it hung in the sky above the divine sense for more than 10 days. His heart was already empty, and when the blood in his entire body stopped flowing, he suddenly felt a cool sensation on his chest. When Xianxia discovered that Xianxia's killing heart had completely disappeared, he immediately used the sacred heart fruit to press it against Xianxia's chest. With a flash of the sacred heart fruit's multicolored light, it miraculously seeped into Xianxia's skin and muscles and entered into his heart, quickly fusing with Xianxia. The blood flowed through the heart and into the entire body, causing Xianxia's body to become scorching hot. This was because the sacred heart was currently refining Xianxia's blood, and the strong blood seeped into the muscles and bones, causing his entire body to become even stronger. Refining the divine deity was not as difficult as Xianxia had imagined. He had thought that it would take a very long time, but it seems that not only was the progress very smooth, he also used very little time. The cloud of light in the divine sense was gradually shrinking and starting to solidify. It seemed like the final stage of the core formation stage that he was in was very crucial. I wonder how much benefits I'll get from refining this divine deity, Xianxia thought to himself. Because of the appearance of this divine deity in the divine sense, the ocean water formed by the divine power became restless, frantically surging. If I want to become stronger, then the heavenly Dan should first have to become stronger. The strength of the heavenly pill should have a huge impact on the god power. Xianxia revolved the heavenly alchemy, releasing a powerful divine force, compressing the ball of light, in order to condense it. When Xianxia was condensing the divine deity, there was a huge change in his body. He did not feel it himself, because at this moment, he was concentrating on condensing his divine deity. The form divine deity is indeed powerful. His bones just evolved for a short period of time, and now under the effects of the divine deity, they have started to become stronger again. It seems like this brat can cultivate jade bones very quickly. Qi Shi looked at Xianxia's body that was glowing with a purple gold light, and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. That divine deity was broken down by him, and has been newly condensed together. It can be said that it was formed by him himself, and with his strength, he already has a complete set of divine deity. I wonder how strong he will be. Xianxia said. Would he directly possess the strength of a god? Qi Shi shook his head. That's impossible, his foundation is too weak. He won't directly become a god. It's certain that he'll become stronger, but it's hard to estimate, because there's no such example. Xianxia's quick changes in his body were all because of the benefits brought by the divine deity. Right now, he was still in the process of refining pellets. As long as he could condense the loose ball of light coming from divine sense, he would successfully condense his divine deity. As he was concentrating his divine deity, the Lion Mountain suddenly shook violently. When Xianxia felt it, he panicked. "Calm down, don't worry," Qi Shi immediately shouted, telling Xianxia to continue and not to lose control of his mind. Qi Shi gave Xianxia a meaningful glance, telling him to go out and take a look. To be able to cause such a huge commotion, it must mean that many of the powerful formations here had already been broken through. In order to allow Xianxia to cultivate in peace, Qi Shi had released a barrier which allowed him to float in the air and isolate any sound coming from the outside. This way, even if there were any strong tremors outside, it would not be able to affect Xianxia. Xianxia returned very quickly, and his expression was not very good. "They've attacked us. They won't be able to break through this place in a short period of time." Xianxia asked, "Do you want me to go out and fight them? Those fellows that fought their way here shouldn't be weak. What kind of people are they?" Qi Shi thought for a moment and asked, "There are 2 black dragons, they should be hell dragoness. I never thought that heavenly dragon race would actually raise such things." Xianxia's words caused Qi Shi's face to turn solemn. "Hell dragon. This kind of dragon specializes in breaking restrictions and formations. Its strength is not weak either. This is not easy to deal with. Let's wait for this kid to wake up. Besides the 2 hell dragoness outside, there are also many powerful sky dragons. My current strength is not what it was in the past. You aren't a professional fighter, so you just have to guard this place well." Qi Shi pondered for a moment and made his decision. Both Qi Shi and Xianxia felt a considerable pressure in their hearts. So many years had passed for the heavenly dragon race, and they had obtained the support of the Hell Devil Emperor for nothing, so it would be difficult for them to not become strong in this heaven realm which was rich in resources. In their eyes, the Emperor's tomb was a huge threat, and they were worried that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord would revive back then. "I wonder if we can hold on. If we can't, then we can only fight them." Qi Shi took a deep breath to calm himself down. He was already prepared to fight. "There's no other way. This place has been built for too long and is a bit old. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been destroyed so easily." Xianxia sighed, took out a spear. "I'll go out and deal with them for a while. Give this brat some time." Xianxia was also worried about the things that were happening outside. But his priority right now was to condense the divine deity. Maybe he could help when the time comes. Xianxia had already left and the Lion Mountain had already stopped shaking. It seemed that Xianxia had been surrounded and attacked outside, preventing the group of sky dragons from attacking him again. However, Xianxia could not hold on for long, and the Lion Mountain started to shake again. Qi Shi frowned, looked at Xianxia, and said in a low voice, "As soon as possible. I'm worried that you won't be able to hold on for long here." After he finished speaking, Qi Shi teleported from one of the transmission arrays to the outside. Xianxia had heard Qi Shi's words just now, and this gave him quite a bit of pressure. This was because he was extremely pressed for time, and condensing divine deity still required a period of time. The Lion Mountain calmed down, but the fight beside the Lion Mountain was extremely intense. The aftermath of the attack struck the Lion Mountain and was blocked by the powerful formations, causing the Lion Mountain to not be shaken, but the formations could not hold on for long. Under such a situation, even the formations laid out by Xianxia would not be able to escape death. It could be imagined how many strong sky dragons came from the heavenly dragon race who were attacking the Lion Mountain. After Qi Shi went out to defend the enemy, the energy that was protecting Xianxia's barrier gradually weakened. Xianxia slowly descended and landed on the ground. "If this continues, this place will soon be destroyed. I need to hurry up and condense my divine deity." The purple golden glow on Xianxia's body flickered rapidly. While he was condensing his divine deity, the bizarre and powerful energy within the divine deity was also altering his physical body, causing him to improve rapidly in every aspect. Boom! A series of violent sounds came up beside Xianxia's ears. A huge boulder fell down, and under such a violent attack, the Lion Mountain finally could not hold on anymore, and the boulder above could not help but fall down. Fortunately, the light rays that Xianxia released were accompanied by a strong repelling force. If anything approached him, it would bounce away, and even if a huge rock the size of a small mountain were to fall, it would be bounced back by a very strong force. The belly of the Lion Mountain was a very spacious place. The rocks continued to fall, causing the ground to shake violently. Rumbling sounds came from all directions, and rocks to fly everywhere, while Xianxia continued to sit there and concentrate on condensing his divine deity. Otherwise, his previous efforts would have been in vain. The huge stone chamber in the middle of the mountain was now filled with falling rocks. The entire mountain had collapsed, and the aftermath of the battle kept on attacking the huge rocks. It didn't take long for the huge rocks to shatter and be razed to the ground. Qi, you have indeed been resurrected, but so what? You no longer have the strength that you used to have, now we can kill you. A middle-aged man dressed in gorgeous red robes held a huge blade that flickered with red light. On the surface of the blade was carved a mighty red soaring dragon, and this blade looked very similar to the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Qi scoffed. No matter how weak I am, I'll at least eat your 2 sky dragons. You guys might sell yourselves to the Hell Devil Emperor later on. So what's the point of you living alive? At least we can live, and you have to stay in hell and suffer. The red-robed middle-aged man laughed sinisterly, then released a sharp dragon roar, transforming into a blood-red shadow that rushed towards Qi. The few gigantic dragons floating in the distance all changed their shape, holding their holy weapons. They surrounded Qi and changed into their original form of a giant dragon. They would only consume a lot of energy and their movements would not be as nimble as a human's. In the distance, Xianxia was crazily being slashed by 2 black-faced big men. 2 big men in black robes were wielding 2 long black blades in their hands, releasing a black aura that whistled through the air, agilely and powerfully attacking towards Xianxia, who was dodging constantly. Qi only had 1 sword in his hand, and it was not even a holy sword, but in his hands it was extremely powerful. When he clashed with the holy weapons, he did not lose out to them at all, and he was facing a few heavenly dragons alone. Although he looked like he was being suppressed, his strength made people admire him. He had just revived and was in a very weak state, able to take care of these powerful heavenly dragons. Blood Dragon. I never thought that after so many years, you would still be so useless. Right now, I'm only supporting my body with a weak remnant soul, but you still can't beat me. Haha. Qi laughed out loud. A vast map of the mountain appeared behind him. The most terrifying thing was that inside the mountains that were as tall as the clouds, beasts were roaring continuously, rushing forward. Tens of thousands of huge beasts madly rushed forward while roaring non-stop. Their imposing manner was filled with killing intent and deterrence. Blood Dragon. Don't forget my heaven-earth killing method. Qi laughed sinisterly. He opened up both his arms and trembled, only to see the sky suddenly crashing down a gigantic mountain, bringing with it a majestic Qi pressure. It seemed so real, but when it crashed down, it turned into a powerful force that bombarded the bodies of the heavenly dragons. With such a concentrated attack, it was difficult for them to dodge, and they were instantly bombarded dozens of times. Qi had already disappeared. The red-robed middle-aged man was shocked, looking for Qi's location, suddenly hearing a tearing dragon roar. Amongst the chaotic attacks, Qi chose to use an extremely fast sword technique to behead a sky dragon who had been smashed by a huge mountain. Don't try to be brave. Release the last 2 hell dragon. A dragon roared. Qi's expression changed, because hell dragon were currently very powerful. The 2 big men in black robes that Xianxia was facing were like 2 hell dragon. If he were to release 2 more, he and Xianxia would not be able to take it. Seeing how powerful Qi was, the blood dragon did not drag him any longer and threw out 2 black beads. 2 balls of black mist burst out in the air, and 2 jet black dragons that emitted a bitter death aura rushed out from the 2 black mist. Just at this moment, the Lion Mountain that had turned into ruins suddenly shot out a strong burst of white light. The aura that the light carried made both Sky Dragon and Hell Dragon feel threatened. Attack that place together. The Blood Dragon roared, the power of the heavenly dragon circulating throughout its entire body suddenly. But Qi sharp sword had already come slashing over. Just as Qi stopped the Blood Dragon, the 2 Hell Dragoness that had just appeared spat out 2 gigantic black beams of light, bringing with them a very evil and powerful energy. They smashed into the pile of ruins on the ground, transforming into a black, churning wave. The wave roared and churned crazily on the ground, turning the ruins into flat ground. The other sky dragons took advantage of the fact that Qishur was being held back by the blood dragon, and started to launch their strongest attacks one after another, releasing many gigantic dragon silhouettes, which emitted a strong multicolored light and brought along more than half of the sky dragon's power to attack the area where the terrifying white light was. "You bastards!" Qishur was furious. He released a roar. The sky suddenly turned black, and a large number of stars appeared, and the stars were getting closer and closer, as though they were going to fall down. Great Luotian. Qishur's entire body was brimming with killing intent. A huge star suddenly fell from the sky. The star ignited with raging flames, dragging a long tail, as though it had become countless times larger than a meteor, and instantly smashed onto a huge hell dragon's body, breaking it at the waist. The star fell to the ground and exploded into a violent wave of fire. A wave of fire that seemed to cover the sky appeared from the ground, engulfing this small space that was separated from the outside world. Qishur thought that Xianxia was hopeless, and couldn't care so much about it. He kept his distance from the heavenly dragons and hell dragon, and used heaven-earth killing method to attack crazily. "The hell dragon will not die," the blood dragon sneered. It shattered a star, and an energy shield appeared around its body to resist the power of the star explosion. The hell dragon that was smashed into two pieces by the stars turned into a ball of black energy and gathered together. Then, it turned into a huge black dragon once again. "Who said that?" The sudden voice made Qishur and Xianxia happy. It was Xiang's voice. Xiang was indeed in great danger just now, but he had also instantly condensed his divine deity and executed spatial travel, arriving in the air and avoiding the berserk attacks of the hell dragon. The blood dragon looked up into the sky. Xiang was dressed in a profound wood diamond armor's robe, holding onto a green dragon demon-slain broadsword. His body was glowing with a silvery white light. "Green dragon demon-slain broadsword. This fellow is Xiang." The blood dragon had just finished speaking, but Qishur had already slashed out a few times, causing him to be distracted and almost got hit by Qishur. Xiang shouted, "Leave these hell dragon to me." Xiang, who had fused with the divine deity, broke through the 9th cycle of the sacred transformation and immediately became a saint. Adding his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and his devil-suppressing kung fu, it was the most appropriate choice to deal with these hell dragon. "Then be careful," Qishur shouted. The holy devil-suppressing seal appeared in Xiang's palm. He merged the holy devil-suppressing seal into the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, causing it to suddenly become extremely huge, like a gigantic blade that could split heaven and earth. On the blade, there were words that flashed with a shock sound. He agilely brandished the gigantic blade, chopping towards the hell dragon that had just recovered, and cut it into two again. This time, the hell dragon roared, clearly sensing the threat Xiang posed to him. "This kind of thing is best to kill." Xiang sneered, and from the sky above the cut hell dragon, a heavenly like holy devil-suppressing seal, like the heavens collapsing, quickly came crashing down, smashing onto the body of the severed hell dragon. The hell dragon that was suppressed by the holy seal started to struggle madly, and the black chi that was emitted from its body was melted by the divine light released by the holy devil-suppressing seal, causing the hell dragoness to turn into black dust that sprinkled onto the ground. "You killed the hell dragon? Aren't you afraid of being targeted by the hell devil emperor?" The blood dragon immediately became terrified. These hell dragon were borrowed from the hell devil emperoress. They were extremely powerful, but now they were all killed by Xiang in a matter of seconds. Xiang looked at the other furious hell dragon. At this time, his divine blade had already changed to its original form, and the holy seal was back in his hands. As long as there were no hell dragon's threats, Qishur's pressure would not be that great. "Don't bother with the hell dragoness. Kill him with the 2 fire dragons and bring the hell dragon over here." The blood dragon saw that Xiang's holy devil-suppressing seal and the devil-suppressing magic power had a huge killing power towards the evil demon and immediately made arrangements. At the same time, It used all its strength to suppress Qi and prevent him from killing them during the exchange. Don't even think about succeeding. Qi threw a palm attack towards the two sky dragons that were rushing towards Xianxia, but part of it was shattered by the blood dragon. But the other two heavenly dragons that were in the human form were still shaken to the point where they vomited blood. That hell dragon had already distanced itself from Xianxia and came to the blood dragon sect to deal with Qi together. In the distant Jiangshan, dealing with two hell dragon by himself was already extremely strenuous, and he couldn't care about Xianxia and Qi side. Xianxia looked at the two flying sky dragons and gripped his divine blade tightly. He could already tell that the two sky dragons had consumed a lot of energy, otherwise they wouldn't have been injured by Qi just now. The two sky dragons that were charging over were very fast. When they were in their human form, although their strength had decreased by a lot, they were still very agile. The holy sword in their hands glowed brightly, giving off a strong aura. However, the speed of these two sky dragons had become extremely very slow in Xianxia's eyes. At this moment, he had an extremely strong feeling in his heart, making him feel that he could easily kill these two sky dragons. Boom! The god power that Xianxia channeled from the divine sense C into his body suddenly collapsed and exploded, releasing a burst of extremely terrifying energy that quickly circulated through his meridians and muscles, striking against each other and exploding out wave after wave. This was the prelude to the time when he was displaying that bizarre sword technique. Feeling this bizarre and terrifying energy gush out, Xianxia slowed everything in front of him. The middle-aged man who was the first to charge forward actually slashed with his sword at an extremely fast speed. So fast that even their eyes could not catch hold of him, but in his eyes the sword continued to hack downwards. Xianxia swiftly brandished his blade and slashed downwards from top to bottom. His blade was extremely fast. It looked as though he had never moved it. But a new line of blood appeared on the upper half of the middle-aged man's body, from his waist to his left arm. His body was slashed into two halves by Xianxia. The other sky dragon could not even see Xianxia's blade, but he realized that his companion's Qi was wrong, and he knew that something was wrong. He had already unleashed a slash, and although he thought that it was extremely fast, it was extremely slow in Xianxia's eyes. If you guys hadn't come over, you might have been able to live longer. Xianxia slashed out again with his blade casually. It seemed like a casual slash, but the power contained within and the speed was astonishing. The killing move of his had already reached its peak. With two slashes, the twin dragons became 4 pieces, dying much simpler and faster than the hell dragon just now. Ah! When the blood dragon saw him, it roared crazily and was about to rush towards Xianxia. But Qi would not let it succeed. Xianxia took out the divine cauldron and placed the 2 dead dragons inside. They had consumed a lot of energy in this battle, so they would need to have a full meal after the fight. Senior Jiang, I'm here to help you. While Xianxia was speaking, he took a step forward and traveled through space, arriving behind a black-robed man. The devil-suppressing magic power rushed into the divine blade and quickly slashed at the black-robed man. These hell dragoness were much stronger than the 2 from before. Xianxia's 2 slashes only left 2 lines of black qi flowing out of their bodies. But it was already good as Jiangshan had stabbed them dozens of times, and did not even have a single hole. These hell dragon were very difficult to kill. After they were injured, their wounds released a ball of black qi, and in the blink of an eye, they were healed. This makes me feel much more relaxed. Jiangshan laughed. He only wanted to fight a hell dragon now, so he wasn't as nervous as before. The black-clothed man's blade wounds had yet to heal, making him extremely cautious. Just now, he had seen Xianxia use the sacred seal to crush a hell dragon to death. The strength of the hell dragon was much stronger than the normal sky dragons, but the evil qi on them was very strong, and their bodies were filled with evil force. Xianxia, using the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and devil-suppressing magic power to attack them, had a fatal blow to them. Demon Abyss. Both of his hands danced, and suddenly, a black hole formed from countless black snakes encircling Xianxia. It was so deep that the bottom couldn't be seen, and there was even a strong suction force. Xianxia was pulled down by the suction force. In the blink of an eye, half of his body had submerged into the demon abyss. The moment he was wrapped by the demon abyss, Two gigantic scimitars appeared in the hands of the black-clothed man in the sky. Both of his hands moved quickly, slashing out countless of black blade images, which turned into a sharp blade filled with evil qi, flying straight towards Xianxia's head. Xianxia roared, his body releasing golden light all over, a burst of divine and vast aura surging out in all directions. The black vortex that engulfed half of his body instantly collapsed, and the blade images that flew over were all cleansed by the divine light on his body and dissipated. Demon Sealing Array. The golden light that shot out from Xianxia's body was a wave of pure and powerful divine power that shone towards the man. Following his mind's control, the energy turned into 6 devil-suppressing qi arrays and enveloped the black-clothed man from all directions. The 6 golden sides of the devil-suppressing qi array turned into a cage, sealing the hell dragon inside. The black-clothed man felt that he was facing an unprecedented threat and roared continuously, wanting to turn into a huge dragon and break out of the cage. The black aura on his body surged out crazily, but was completely purified by the devil-suppressing qi array. Xianxia suddenly leaped into the air. The divine blade in his hand shone brightly, filled with righteousness, and a wave of pure and hot, devil-suppressing magic power continued to fly out from the blade. Demon Slaying Slash. Xianxia's mind suddenly surged with a technique. He subconsciously activated it, and the god power in the divine sense surged, surging into his body, transforming into a burst of extremely hot power that instantly entered the god blade. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword flashed with light, and a soaring dragon roared out, bringing with it the divine power. It rushed towards the middle-aged man locked in the devil-suppressing qi array and pierced through his robust and struggling body. A mournful roar shook the horizon, and the devil-suppressing qi array scattered. A ball of ashes flew out, and another hell dragon was killed by Xianxia. Just as Xianxia finished dealing with the hell dragon that was fighting with Jiangsheng also let out a low roar, and was immediately scattered by the multicolored light the sword saint shot out from a mirror. At this time, only Qi was there. Xianxia and Jiangsheng looked at each other and smiled, then rushed to Qi battlefield. The blood dragon knew that the 2 hell dragon had died, but he was unwilling to retreat just like that. Originally, they had held the advantage, but who knew that Xianxia's sudden appearance would cause them to lose 3 hell dragons and 2 sky dragons. When Xianxia arrived on the battlefield, he immediately unleashed a sharp attack, unleashing the holy devil-suppressing seal and the strongest devil-suppressing magic power. Then, he used his mind to control the colossal mountain-like print, and crazily smashed it onto the hell dragon that had transformed into a huge dragon. Although the hell dragon had transformed into its original form, and had a thick dragon body that was tens of thousands of meters long, it had a huge killing power. It turned into a 30,000-foot tall mountain. Its movement speed was extremely fast, closely followed by the huge dragon body, which continuously smashed down, as if it was beating a small snake with a hammer. A hell dragon with powerful evil power, its strength was comparable to half of a strong of Lord stage, but it was still forced to flee and howl by Xianxia, and it was in a very sorry state. "You can die now." Xianxia saw that the hell dragon was struggling to stay alive. It released its divine blade and merged with the holy devil-suppressing seal, causing long and sharp blades to appear from the bottom of the holy devil-suppressing seal. It then controlled the holy seal to smash the hell dragon's head to the ground, turning the entire head into ashes. Just by fusing with his divine deity, his strength had reached such a level that it left Qi and Jiangsheng gasping in shock. They were certain that, even if Xianxia had to face 2 hell dragon, he would be able to do it easily. 2 more sky dragons had died in the blood dragon's camp. Now that Xianxia and Jiangsheng had come to help Qi, the pressure on him was immense. Withdraw. The blood dragon was unwilling to give up. Moreover, he had lost so many lives, so he would definitely be punished. However, if he were to continue like this, he feared that he would die here. "You want to leave?" Qi suddenly roared. His body shone with a white light and transformed into a white lion. His body was not very big, just like a small house. This was the original body of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, a white lion. Xianxia never thought that it would be so small, Even the super-old fire beast was bigger than him. After Qi Shi changed back into his original form, both Xianxia and Jiangshang could clearly feel that his strength had increased by a lot. Jiangshang gave Xianxia a meaningful glance and shook his head, signaling him not to go and help. "Is there really no problem?" Xianxia asked. "No problem. Qi Shi has changed into his original body. If we go over there, we might even be affected by the power he used," Jiangshang said. Xianxia didn't go over. Instead, he and Jiangshang floated in the air and watched the distance. The blood dragon and a few sky dragons had already run very far, charging towards a spatial crack at the edge of the crack. The speed of Qi Shi, who had turned into a white lion, was extremely fast. Like a white light, he directly flew over and continuously let out angry roars. Qi Shi had already caught up with the group of fleeing sky dragons. Just as the group of sky dragons was about to rush out of the crevice, a white light surged out of Qi Shi's body, and with his body as the center, a whirlpool of light appeared. The whirlpool started to spin crazily, absorbing the huge mountains and the thick layer of soil on the ground all around. As the vortex of white light started to spin crazily, the dozens of mountains and thick layer of soil that were engulfed disappeared, as if they had turned into mist. Xianxia now understood why Jiangshang did not let him pass. It was because it would hinder Qi Shi from using this terrifying technique. "What is this? It doesn't look like a heaven-earth killing method," Xianxia said in shock, because there was no killing intent at all. As a heaven-earth killing method cultivator, he understood this very well. This is Qi Shi's special ability, an extremely powerful power of the ancient code. Very few people know about this, and the enemies who know about him controlling the power of the ancient code are usually dead. Jiangshang chuckled. This law energy is called returning to its original form by him, because after being locked on by this law energy, it will turn into its original state. Xianxia finally understood that the mountain dust that had been engulfed by the power earlier had all transformed into the most primitive state of energy. If those sky dragons were struck, the outcome would be obvious, as they would all transform into energy. "You bastards, destroying this place of mine like this, you want to just leave like this? Truly delusional," Qi Shi roared. The sky dragon that was originally trying to escape was now sucked back by the white vortex he released. After being sucked into the white vortex, Xianxia immediately saw various types of multicolored light erupting and struggling as huge dragons roared. Following the white vortex, they revolved around Qi Shi. "I'll go seal that hole to prevent the energy here from leaking out. Absorb some of it here, and the energy of those heavenly dragons will be pure." Jiangshang disappeared from where he was. Xianxia could already see a large mass of colorful energy floating towards him, which was visible to the naked eye. This energy was extremely dense and could be seen directly. Xianxia immediately activated his energy to absorb it. The speed at which he absorbed it was extremely fast, causing the energy around him to become a small vortex that crazily surged towards his body. After he had completed the 9 Revolution Saint, he had an extremely terrifying divine power in his body. His strength could no longer be measured using common sense, and this was all thanks to the efforts of his divine deity. Qi Shi was in the middle of the ball of energy, absorbing it the fastest. After this round, Qi Shi was extremely dissatisfied with his own strength. If he had the kind of strength from back then, he could have killed off this group of small fries with a single hand. Only now did Xianxia realize how powerful Qi Shi was. He was able to absorb the energy very quickly, like how a cow drinks water. Jiangshang and Xianxia had absorbed less than half of what Qi Shi had absorbed in total. In just 3 days, the 3 of them had completely wiped out the energy released by the group of sky dragons. The Lion Mountain had already been destroyed and the comfortable hall was gone. This small space that was separated from the 9 heavens became much dimmer. After many battles, another hole had been opened. The Dragon Emperor of the Heavenly Dragon Race did not personally make a move. Qi Shi laughed out loud. Xianxia took out the corpses of the 2 sky dragons that he had killed, preparing to have a full meal. After taking them, Jiangshang skillfully peeled off the dragon scales, took out the dragon pearls, and took out all the useful things. After they finished eating, Xianxia and Qishir started to check Xianxia's body. Seniors, what is my current strength? I have already passed the 9 cycle of sage transformation. Xianxia replied, right now he should be considered a saint immortal. No, what you possess now is a divine power. With divine deity, only your body is not a divine body, so although your divine power is a little weaker, if you continue to cultivate slowly, you will become stronger sooner or later. You should be considered half a god. Qishir frowned as he looked at Xianxia. Right now, I'm not sure what kind of strength you have. Since you haven't truly used it once, it's hard to judge. Xianxia nodded. I never thought that divine deity would be so powerful, but you do not have a certain level of foundation yourself, nor do you have the ability to control that divine deity. Your divine power is too weak when compared to your divine deity, and your physical body cannot keep up with it. If you used the heaven-earth killing method and divine weapon, it would be very scary. Your current mastery of the heaven-earth killing method is still too little, but I don't recommend that you master those killing moves of the heaven-earth killing method to be of no benefit to you. Qishir said, you just need to learn more about the alive-slain method. It will be beneficial to you in refining pills. If you use too much of the killing power of the heaven-earth killing method, the purifying divine deity would turn into killing divine deity. If you want to become a god in the future, the less vicious aura you have, the better. Xianxia understood what Qishir meant. It was to let him take the lead in pill refining. When I was suppressed in hell, there were a lot of people who were suppressed along with me. I understood that Hell Devil Emperor was a guy who had a lot of killing intent, and in the end, God's realm took him in to help him manage hell. Qishir laughed mischievously. If you wanted to learn more about the heaven-earth killing method, that's why you have to use the killing great technique. You might end up fighting the Hell Devil Emperor for a spot in the future, but you don't want to stay in that damned hell, right? However, in the future, according to what you have done, you will cultivate a strong power of consciousness inside your divine deity. The stronger the power of consciousness in the future, you will be able to unleash your own unique strength as you wish. For example, if you refine pills, your main cultivation direction will definitely be in the areas of fire and mental control. Xianxia nodded, then asked, back then, what sort of consciousness did the heavenly dragon Supreme Lord have? Qishir curled his lips. That craving dragon thinks of eating all day, and I had that thought all day long during that time. Moreover, there's still a little something in the female dragon's heart. Evil. The corner of Xianxia's mouth twitched. She doesn't have divine deity now, but she's still that gluttonous and lecherous. She was like this in the first place, so she had this very strong consciousness in her divine deity. Back then, the same thing happened in the killing heart, so after I merged with my master, I often lost control and started killing. Qishir sighed. It's also because of this that my master was turned into a god of slaughter, and I subconsciously wanted to go around killing everything, so my being the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord in the end probably has something to do with this. Xianxia had gathered all the heaven-earth killing method, and if he were to consider long-term, he might have to give up on a portion of them, and instead choose to cultivate a live-slain method and God-slain method to strengthen his own spirit, and a live-slain method could be used for medicinal ingredients. As for the ones that he could use in battle, he had already grasped a lot, and that was enough. I'm going back. Those guys are preparing to attack me. Maybe the heavenly dragon race will come too. Xianxia said. Do you want us to go? If the dragon emperor appears, I think we can still stop him. Qishir said. Xianxia laughed. Your master promised me that when the time comes, he will come over to help. His white tiger fighting race is very powerful, but you all can go watch the show. I don't have the face to see him right now. Qishir sighed. When he sees me, he will definitely despise me greatly and throw his soul into hell. Xianxia was worried about Long Shui. If Long Shui were to meet him, arguing over divine deity would definitely cause a huge ruckus. Then are you going or not? Xianxia patted his butt and prepared to leave. Xianxia said, I think it's better that we don't go. Great Lion King, please come with me to refine divine weapons. This guy needs a Sazaka divine weapon. I need some helpers. Xianxia understood what Xianxia meant and immediately took out the vermilion bird skeleton and placed the bones inside the divine furnace. before handing over the divine hammer to Xianxia. After Xianxia received it, he laughed bitterly. "I've just met the heavens, and I've returned to my usual blacksmithing business." Xianxia thought for a moment, then asked, "Senior Jiang, my wife is also an artificer. I wonder if I can make them your assistants. Could you teach them some skills while I'm at it?" It seems that you have quite a few wives." Xianxia chuckled, as if he understood what he meant. "No problem," Xianxia replied. "Only 2. Furthermore, there is also a female slave. Rest assured, they are all extremely talented. They have all studied the divine book that you left behind, and the Suzaku Bao's blueprints were found by them." "That's for the best." Xianxia laughed. Afterwards, Chunxiang told Xianxia where he knew Lu Menger and Xianxia might be. "I never thought that it would be old Bing's descendant. The descendant he left behind can guard this place for many years. We must really thank them." Qi Shi said, "At the very least, I have to help them take back what belongs to old Bing." Chunxiang asked, "What is it?" "His ice dragon sword is with me." "It's not a ice dragon sword. It's a thing that an ice dragon is born with. Back then, it was sucked out by a few powerful old dragons, and the last few old dragons went missing. If his supreme dragon blood is still alive, then I might not have to die." When Qi Shi spoke of this matter, he was extremely indignant. "Where is the supreme dragon blood?" Chunxiang immediately thought of a place. Heavenly Dragon Realm. The Dragon Emperor and the 4 dragons back then had worked together to plot against Old Ice, pulling out Old Ice's supreme dragon blood, and then being split up by them. The supreme dragon blood's usage is no different from divine deity, so you can imagine how precious it is. Qi Shi scoffed. "It's a pity that we didn't reach the Heavenly Dragon Realm back then and didn't know they were hiding inside. Otherwise, where would they be right now?" Chunxiang said, "When the time comes, go to Heavenly Dragon Realm and call me over. The one in charge of everything in Ice Dragon race is my sister, and with the grace of the Ice Dragon ancestor and me, I will also do my best." "No problem. Old Jiang and I will go find those small ice dragons first to understand the situation." Qi Shi nodded and sighed. "In the past, I died too early and didn't even have the chance to repay those old friends. Now I have to repay them." Xianxia took out an array disk that he placed on the ground. The 3 of them stood up, and after activating the transmission array, they appeared in the cold, profound, cold ancient realm outside. "This place is still so cold. Just because a god that cultivates the power of ice died here, it has affected us for so many years." Qi Shi exclaimed, "There used to be a group of mysterious people living here. Back then, they seemed to have all been slaughtered. Where is that divine tomb? There is a very powerful dragon vein underneath it." Chunxiang told Qi Shi and Xianxia about the matter of Devil Continent's grave. He missed the place Chunxiang was born from very much, but that place had long turned upside down. That god should be able to revive. It seems like he was the guy who hunted down those exiled gods back then. In the end, he also died from his injuries, but the underworld wouldn't dare to accept this kind of person's soul, so he can still be revived. Hopefully this guy is a good person. I heard that the people who guarded the tomb for him all have a huge future." Qi Shi said. Xianxia opened transmission array once again, and teleported them to a remote place above continent of the king. After that, he split up and returned to his own evil dragon graveyard, where Xianxia and Qi Shi were. Chunxiang found a city. When he wanted to teleport to the city closest to evil dragon graveyard, he was told that all the cities nearby had long since been moved and were very far away from the nearest city. However, he still teleported. Chunxiang did not know where he was currently in the city. He only needed to ask the person in charge of managing the transmission array, and he would be asked by that person to step onto the more common transmission array. After coming here, he found out that this city was not simple at all. It had been built not long ago, and was called the Holy City of the Realm. The people who were currently gathered here were mostly employed by some major powers. At that time, as long as they could break through the evil dragon graveyard, kill the disciples of the Dragon Subduing School, and hand over their heads and the Dragon Subduing School's keepsake, they would be able to obtain generous rewards. In order to obtain a large amount of spiritual crystal, many people would have to participate. This would bring a lot of pressure to the dragon subduing school, and upon knowing about this, Xianxia felt that it was not good. At that time, if dragon subduing school causes too big of a massacre, then those great powers will have a better excuse to discredit dragon subduing school. Xianxia's heart suddenly became heavy. The streets were now covered with these kinds of summoning orders, and many youths were excitedly forming groups for help. If a lot of people participated, then many unrelated people would definitely die. Although those greedy people wanted to die, Xianxia did not want dragon subduing school to become an evil force that was hated by the Nine Heaven world. He had to admit that with so many great powers joining hands to attack the evil dragon graveyard, it had caused a huge impact. This caused some of the people who were still young and inexperienced to think that the dragon subduing school belonged to one of those evil forces. The reason why the holy city of the heavenly region was so close to the evil dragon graveyard was so that they could have the dragon veins and could develop quickly in this place. Xianxia looked at the bounty orders on the streets and started to think about how he would deal with this situation. At that time, the people who would participate in the battle would not only be the superpowers, but also some small and medium-sized forces. The reason why the holy city is so large is to accommodate more people. When the time comes, this place will become the main city for the transport of combat strength. Xianxia looked around and discovered that there were a lot of large transmission arrays in the city. What made him gratified was that he had found some secret records left behind by Huang Jintian. From those records, he could tell that Huang Jintian was hiding inside the city right now. Huang Jintian had previously separated from him in the profound cold ancient realm and brought that group of ice dragons to find Long Huishan. When the time came, Huang Jintian would participate in the great battle and he would have great authority in the dragon subduing school. Xianxia followed the scrolls and found Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian set up shop on the side of the street, the kind of person who specialized in fortune-telling. His current appearance looked like a big trick, but he had an unlimited lifespan, able to use heaven-extended method to predict the future without restraint. After changing his appearance, Xianxia went over to Huang Jintian's stall, extended his hand out, and smiled. "Old sir, please see when I can make a fortune." Huang Jintian did not recognize Xianxia, since Xianxia was also testing his disguise. If even Huang Jintian could not tell what it was, then it would be even more difficult for others. Huang Jintian looked listless as he slowly opened his eyes and looked at the center of Xianxia's palm. Seeing Huang Jintian's playful expression, Xianxia laughed. "Did you notice anything?" Huang Jintian coughed and said, "If you want to know, you have to give it to the spiritual crystal." "How much?" Xianxia asked, with Huang Jintian's current appearance. He was not sure if she had already recognized him. 5,000 spiritual crystal for one question, Huang Jintian said slowly. From the looks of it, he did not look like he was doing business. He was indeed not doing business, but waiting. Xianxia really did take out 5,000 spiritual crystal, and then asked, "I want to know if the evil dragon graveyard will be taken down." Huang Jintian did not think that he would actually run into a problem where a blind cat had gotten into a dead mouse. "We can't," Huang Jintian said confidently. Xianxia took out another 5,000 spiritual crystal and asked again, "When can I make a huge profit?" Huang Jintian said, "In about another 2 years or so, even if you are sleeping, you will be smashed awake by the treasures." Huang Jintian only treated Xianxia as a fool, so he spoke some nonsense. "Master, don't lie to me." Xianxia laughed. After hearing these words, Huang Jintian immediately reacted and scolded with a smile. "Little bastard, I had thought that you had already died in profound cold ancient realm, but I heard that there are many sky dragons over there." Huang Jintian was extremely curious about Xianxia entering Emperor's tomb and really wanted to know. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord and Divine Craftsman have been resurrected, and now they have come out. But 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord no longer have the same strength as back then. Xianxia snickered. "So you're saying, we will definitely win this battle?" Huang Jintian said excitedly. "That may not be so. I heard that with a heavenly dragon realm, the heavenly dragon race above us is the biggest threat." Xianxia sighed. "Tell me the latest situation. Around 10 days, they will begin their attack. However, they don't have a good plan for the attack yet. I heard that in 2 days, they will hold a meeting and choose the strongest person to command the battlefield. Huang Jintian said, I don't think there's any suspense at all. This is basically set up for the immortals of the heavenly realm. It's just a formality to hand over the command to those people from the heavenly realm. That's right, those fellows from the heavenly region are very strong. There aren't many in the 9-heaven world that can defeat them. Chun Xiang nodded his head. At the same time, it is to give a stage for those experts in the heavenly region to display their strength, so that people can witness their strength and feel reverence for them. That's it. Chun Xiang chuckled. If I can get the commanding authority, do you think they would recognize me? Huang Jintian laughed and said, Then you have to command them to attack Evil Dragon Graveyard. With you as the commander, it will be much easier to take them down. Will those two even fight? With the participation of the 2 top rankers, 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord and Divine Craftsman, it was easy to imagine. Chun Xiang shook his head. I won't let them come if possible. This kind of great battle is best not to erupt. It's clear that someone is instigating a great war to let more people die. As long as someone died, the evil spirits of the infernal realm would fight for it, and the only benefit would be the Hell Devil Emperor. The ones who initiated this war were all strong warriors from the Heaven Realm and had been bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor. After knowing about Hell Devil Emperor's conspiracy, Chun Xiang did not want to be led astray.